Aisha Khan, are you sharing with us? Come on to the no stage but a mic.
Hey guys. Um, it's actually Aisha, but Aisha also sounds pretty. Um, Aisha? Yeah, yeah, of course. I'm gonna read four poems if that's okay. Okay. Just some background. Some of my poems have like Urdu in them, so I'm giving like a little bit of a translation. So Amriki in Urdu or Arabic, I guess, also just means American. Zamzam is a type of holy water that Muslims often use in like different rituals and things like that. Biryani is a type of food. I'm sure everyone knows what biryani is. But yeah, so the first poem that I'm going to read is called Amriki. I live a double life, a triple life. I live 1,000 lives until I forget my own name. I massage my mother's feet until my wrists begin to rust and drink Zumzum until I drown. I text a girl because her father knows the sound of my grandfather's voice, then silence an incoming call from Amma because I still remember what her hugs feel like. I yell at Amma because she pronounces Adidas as Adidas. I donate the sweater she buys me with pink flowers from Walmart because it looks cheap. Amma asks me how to use Bluetooth on her iPhone 4, and I tell her to Google it while scrolling on my XR. I try to look rich by cropping my parents out the photo. I delete the photo. I do not make the post. I tell Amma she doesn't understand me and say I'm an American with a hard R, but still eat shrimp biryani with my hands. I talk fast enough for my syllables to crash into each other and run until my ankles crack. At midnight, my bed swallows me whole, and when I wake up, I'm still inside of my dream. In the morning, I try and crawl back inside my mother's womb, but I'm too late, and her stitches have been sewn up. Is it okay if I sit? Okay, never mind. Okay. Second poem is called Road Trip with Destiny. I sit inside of my grief, and my silver tongue turns copper. My voice flickers until it becomes a whisper, and my anxiety smirks in the corner. You ask me what language I grieve in, and I get lost in your eyes. I wait for you in between a Friday and a Saturday and become a stranger to myself. On Sunday, fate collides with karma, and I sit in the passenger seat as destiny drives. I eat my anger and get lost in an infinite scroll. I fall asleep and wake up after 300 years. I'm struck by lightning and survive. The sky is collapsing and my heart is on fire. We have 5 minutes before the universe crumbles. So I look you in the eyes and speak from the heart. My beloved has betrayed me and I have gone blind. I am 10 years old and Amma and Paijan went for Hajj. So when I get home from school, no one is home. At the airport, Amma clasps my hand and says, when you get off the bus, walk to the house of the neighbors who look like us. And my auntie slips away to watch TV, and a man I call Pai holds me down and kisses me. And at 6 a.m., I congregate with the cars, and on the highway, I pilgrimage to work. At nightfall, I dream of my family praying over my casket. And in the morning, I open my coffin and dance on top of my grave. I cut out my heart and place it in your hands. I polish my anger and turn it into a knife. The war is over, and I still cry when I try and speak. What kind of revolution is this? Who is being freed if using my voice kills me? Where's the romance in this darkness, the beauty in my demise, the fury in my voice that should make cities burn? Today, my voice has gone dark, and the sun has dried up, and a force I cannot see has its hands around my neck. Have you guys heard of a poet named Safia El Hilo? Awesome. Okay, so the next poem is actually like the title is about one of her books, Girls That Never Die. Um, I wear my father's eyes and mother's hair and steal lightning from your sky. I sign a contract with my soul and you laugh with missing teeth. I build an altar from my grief and a bronze bravery wraps her hands around me. And we stand inside of tomorrow and the stars land at my feet and the rings of Saturn go through my hands. And every dream is encoded with illuminations. And I shape sentences into swords and go to war with myself. I slice paper with pen and blue ink splatters across the page. I shoot silver bullets from my mouth and never miss. And subjects and verbs lock hands, and my dreams chase me on the highway. And I play tag with my courage. And I unplug my fear and catch you in the next life. I hack into the matrix and a million realizations download. I unlock my momentum and expand my consciousness. Here, I'm a constellation, and when I speak, thunder claps from every sky. and lightning crackles through my fingers, and every daughter buried alive comes back to life as a rose with knife-sized thorns, and every boom is a bridge between heaven and earth. And I get lost in the crowd and find myself in the mirror. And I try on another life, and my past melts into nostalgia. Here I catch a beat and twirl until sunrise. Here I pass you a flame, and you light a whole city. And the earth splits open, and every ocean surges to the sky, and I remember my name. All right, one last poem. So this poem is called Orphan Ki Aulad, which in Urdu that translates to offspring or lineage of the orphan. I turn myself inside out and wear another person's personality as my own. I collect a million masks and my voice grows muffled, and every persona becomes a liar, and everything I say in Urdu is a lazy translation of what I really mean. And my dreams grow taller than my mother, and Abba says he can't carry me anymore. And my childhood sunsets and my father's knees begin to rust. And I cup my hands like I'm trying to catch the rain. And we pray to Allah in the language of our ancestors. And I ask Allah for a new body nobody touched. And Abba asks for two sons before a daughter. And I say my name like a question and fade into a backspace. And eat all of my exclamation points. And my voice taps her foot like she's waiting for permission. And my first act of protest becomes staying alive. And I marry into a family where they do not know how to pronounce our name, and I do not remember the house I grew up in, and pretend my ancestors are local. Here we have ruxatis for the sons who leave and never come back, and you bomb a people who believe in life after death, and we come back and haunt you in the daylight. And before my memories expire, and I forget the names of all of my loved ones, I keep a garden in my backyard where something grows at every time of the year. And I see Abba between daffodils and sunflowers, knees folded on a janamaz, before he is my father, and after he becomes an orphan. And Abba says he isn't allowed to cry, and prickled roses sprout from his ears. And I dream in a language he doesn't understand. And at sunset, I walk down the street of my childhood home, and all the kids I played outside with have grayed hair and have forgotten my name. Thank you.
All right. Is it Fiza? Fizza. Fizza. What does it mean? Nice. Oh, not that weather. Hey. Okay. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Come to the mic. Yeah.
So I did not prepare anything, obviously. But we've I feel like talked about grief a lot today, and in October I lost my grandfather, and watched him deteriorate in the hospital for 40 nights in the ICU, and I'm just gonna read what I wrote on Instagram after he died. Okay. My grandfather, my joy, my favorite human, my home is gone. For most of my life, my dada has been a constant. The way seasons change and trees inevitably go bare in the autumn months, the way a trickle invites rainfall, the way boiling water begs to escape the pot. He was my steady, reliable, predictable ground. Not once have I imagined a world, let alone a house, without him. His laughs always yielded tears, and our handsome crier of big, beautiful eyes wept so magnificently, gently, and with meaning, as if the tears each carried novellas, stories of pain and grace and the indescribable. We shared so many tears and laughs, and the laugh tears in these few years. He didn't want us to see Dadi dwindle, and so he hid what at first falsely felt like a diminishing love, laughed off any moment she'd forget our names, and our silence grew unbearable. He would change the subject to the sweetest fruit he just had, as if earth sugar could fix it all. Then he'd go down to the kitchen to slice the honeydew and serve it in that white bowl with the turquoise trim, wiping away the wetness in his eyes. It made him uncomfortable how closely I would watch his every move for cracks to mend. He loved my colorful clothes, not right now, and and couldn't get enough of ladies swimming in the pool. He didn't always understand our choices, but not once did I feel he wanted me or us to change. He watched Scamper, his birthday twin, grow into a gray bearded golden boy. He loved his sons and siblings the way you dream only the best of men do. He was the best of men. My dada was honest with me when he was hurting, and then immediately regretful because he wasn't sure if this crossed a line, the exposed vulnerability from grandfather to grandchild that often overrode a parent child disconnect. I thought it silly. It was my favorite thing about him, and that might be saying a lot because the man was also a damn good cook. The kitchen will be the hardest to pass through without his more salt than pepper head leaning over the stovetop, playing with mystery spice after mystery spice. He was supposed to help label the spice boxes he and Fez assembled months ago. He was supposed to go on a Chicago architecture tour. He was supposed to show me Indore, the hospital where we first met, and our Ranipura home. He was supposed to show me where I came from, and with each step on the gravel or within Ranipura's bare walls, I imagined a new story about Amir Dada, about Bapuji, about Ba, all the people who came and left before me. The regrets and could have beens will overwhelm, I'm told. God, I miss my Dada. I miss him so much. One day I'll write more. Sorry. I'll share his magnificent life's work, visible through us and all the hundreds he touched, who will undoubtedly introduce themselves in the coming days. One day I'll find better words for all this. I love you, Dada. I love you so much. Inna lillahi wa inna lillahi rajiun.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's hard, but sometimes you just need to say things, you know? Um and I think that, one of the things that I tried to teach my kids who are all grown now. My youngest just turned 25 and I'm like, "What? Why are y'all old?" Um and one of the things I'm really proud about is how we talk about grief. And how they don't feel like it's something that they can't talk about, like it's a weakness to feel sad that you miss something or that you miss someone or that you know what I mean. um so that's another reason why I love spaces like this where you can say those things and somebody, I mean, you're right, like grief has come up in almost every poem we've heard tonight, right? And I love it when nights get kind of like symbiotic like that, where maybe that's something that needs to be in the room, right? And so let's embrace the room. I'm gonna get kumbaya, so I'm gonna stop. My son is also blowing my phone up because I think he's trying to figure out how to get me to pick him up from work. No, honey, I taught you how to swim. Um, I'm not that mean in real life. But it's feature time unless anybody who just came in wants to share. B, would you like to share? Can you get it together quickish, kinda? I know you have a lot of things. Are you just playing music tonight, or both? Okay. Yeah, I'm not judging. Bring it. Okay, so I'll stall for time. Um. Uh. What else can I say? Oh. I watched the news today, and I know, but it's one of those things. I'm in this weird place where I'm so furious all the time. All I can do is laugh about shit, and I think that's healthy. But like just low key furious. Um. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm just like, okay, so I hit you with a Subway sandwich, I catch a felony. I'm about ready to start a revolution with a foot long. I'm just kidding. All right, B, you ready? Y'all give it up for B.
Hello. Came because the last two of them has been late. I was being again. I'm gonna do one quick poem and then one quick-ish song. This one poem I wrote because I'm angry. And I'm angry a lot, and I don't know how to deal with it. And I don't like to think that I'm an angry person,
But here it is. If I can find it. Yeah. A phoenix sat on my shoulder that day. We became bonded, her and I, screaming at frequencies only gods could hear, the agony too unfathomable for the flesh and bones of this 3D world. We burned together, that phoenix and I. I swatted it away at first, but now its attendance by my side is scorched into the left shoulder of every shirt I owned. It burned down to my skin, or what was left of it. She perches and whispers in my ear, "You're not angry enough about this. The flames should be white hot, but you're still running cold." Her disapproving glare, leveled at my hesitation, intended to instigate me. I think to myself, why the fuck not? This is No Surprises by Radiohead. A heart that's full of life and land. A job that slowly kills you. Bruises that won't heal. You look so tired, unhappy. Break down the government. They don't speak for us. I'll take a quiet life, a handshake of carbon monoxide, and no arms and no surprises, no arms and no surprises, no arms and no surprises, please. Da 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 do 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 do. Ba ba da da do 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 do. Do 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 do. Such a pretty house and such a pretty garden, and no alarms and no surprises, no alarms and no surprises, no alarms and no surprises, please.
That was me. Okay, I'm gonna figure this mic out. I think we need to boom it more next time, like raise it and have it like that. No, no, no. That's okay. I'm not judging you. I'm trying to help you. It's a tool. I'm gonna make sure it works for you. All right. That was be everybody. Thank you all, everybody who shared in the open mic. Now it's feature time. You want me to stall while you no, you're just gonna run with the chocolate and be like, I can do poetry with chocolate in my mouth. I want y'all to get ready for our feature and it's a new book, right? It just came out. My Heresies. This picture is wild. I am gonna write to it because ouch. The marriage and the tongue. Oh wait, that was just my marriage. Oh wait. I did it twice before I was like, oh shit, I'm gay. I stop doing that. Stop marrying men. Um I want y'all to put your hands together right now for our feature, Alina Stefanescu. Yeah, I got one.
Thank you so much for that introduction. And yes, the cover is shocking. It reminds me of many different things. So I want to start by thanking my partner who is in this book in so many ways and who also drove through the crazy rain today to bring me here to this place where I can thank everyone who is here and where I am also reminded that children, families, people who live in Palestine are currently being removed from their homes and relocated and having their entire lives essentially vacated in the name of an ideology that assumes that their existence shouldn't be where they were born. On that note, James Dobson died today. So some of you may be sad about that, but this book has a lot of sort of responses to James Dobson's conception of the family and the something that we in the South kind of grow up around and hear a lot of, and that is the wild Christianity that exists in the U.S. and that helped bring the little tyrant to power. So I'm going to start, because grief was mentioned, I'm going to start with grief and then I'll get out of it, I promise. But I'm going to start with a poem that was written for my mom, about my mom, whom I loved very much and who died when she went on a trip overseas in her sleep of a blood clot, and who I did not believe could really die. Like, it was just so insane for a long time. I thought it was a trick, and that I needed to prove that I could like live without her, and that if I did, she would be back, that it was some kind of a test. It was not, or maybe it is a test. I don't know. I'm trying to find the poem right now. I'm sorry, guys. I should have earmarked it, but I didn't. So I'm looking for it now. Is that a sign that I shouldn't start with it? I mean, really, look. You can tell I'm getting in the frame of mind of this poem because I am starting to think that it's a sign. That's right. The sections? Why is it divided? Because they were sort of different ideas that, see, what you did was magical. You are magic. The minute you asked me another question, it appeared. This is Letter with Heirloom Pen for Lydia, with pen running. Like snails during drought, the daughters curl into catastrophic shells on the couch. They say they know I'll croak in my sleep like you did. 100% I'll keel over dead in some hotel bed across an ocean, a distance so intense no star wish could stop me. And your ghost unfolds its grin as I bend over to tickle the mortified mollusks, as I anoint their foreheads with laughter. Nothing like that can ever happen, I assure them. I giggle, I parry, I joust. Darkness descends. The snails wander to bed. Now I am the room's single animal, the monster who opens the shoebox to lift the crumbling lipstick. To feel closer to you is to drag the horrid pink hue over my frown. Currento calamo, now you are with me. You exist in this posthumous clown who creeps into her daughter's bathroom to scribble a message across the mirror. We too use the same Lancome pen, the same shade, the identical, I love you. See you soon, Scoopy. We end with the same smear of lips as a signature. I kiss the mirror like a virgin and ask the last words to last forever. Skies melt the blue of glaciers. This is a trick one plays with horizons, I tell your ghost. You taught me. The worst is coming. The unbelievable is near. We must abandon our daughters with lies left on mirrors. Between all the air and the oceans, there is this. Love, Mom. My mom was a tremendous amount of fun. She was very, very feisty and very smart. And she didn't put up very much with Southern women, I guess, with the culture of Southern women. She was very, very mystified, I think, sort of. And that's partly because I'm from Romania. My family is from Romania. And she thought all of the smiles, the fakeness to her was kind of fascinating. She was like, everybody hates each other here, and they are all smiling all the time. And, it's interesting to have teenage daughters because I find myself a lot like my mom. Like the things that bothered me that she used to say are exactly the things I say to my daughters and roll my eyes. But I think there's something interesting to the cycle of going back and discovering yourself in this place where you are telling your daughters the socialization you get here is absolute trash. Everything this culture wants you to be is worthless. It will get you no happiness and nothing. So encouraging them to be countercultural is kind of funny. But it's kind of where you end up, I think, in many ways. Or what my mom always kind of warned that that's what would happen. So this is called Why One Cloud is Kin to Not Liking. The reason my husband's family doesn't like me is that I am loud and talkative and elitist. I am a know-it-all book nerd who acts certain about all the outrageous horse shit galloping out of her horse-toothed mouth. These are the facts. The park is emptied by pandemic, and everything is warm, cozy, abandoned until one single cloud creeps over the sun and reveals the power of chilling. Go away, my son commands the cloud. I, who would never dare address a cloud like this, can still admire the mammal that is loud and talkative and elitist in his presumptive relations with condensation events. The truth about clouds is that they haven't happened. They are collections of things which may come to pass or change the sun's frame on a landscape. It rained the whole day of our November wedding, like a Guns N' Roses song, and the sun came out in time for the sunset. We married for its orange-eyed eyes. They never liked me. Even then, in my white hand-sewn dress, I was presumptuous. My bare feet were a private aggression against middle-class values. In their eyes, I could only be baggage, the single mother he saved. The cloud will move eventually, I tell my son. The cloud cannot be the reason everything is ruined, I tell his family. The park is empty. I'm not gonna read any of the poems about white supremacy because it's just everywhere now. And when some of these poems were written, it was the first Trump administration, and it is so daunting. So I'll read poems about God, or what some people call God. This is called Evil Eye. In Romania, the evil eye is a big deal, but it essentially means like people will literally talk about. My mom used to say, the biggest danger is the evil eye. Like you don't want people to envy you. You have to protect yourself against envy, especially, anyway, it was a big deal. So there were all these like anti-evil eye things. And it's interesting to sort of look at different cultures because some cultures have this idea of the evil eye. And then some cultures, especially, I think it's very capitalist to not have that idea, because we are very much geared towards selling ourselves and towards proving and selling or whatever, acquiring. But evil eye is a little bit of theology. Evil eye. the one which began the division of labors, the first miracle. An angel who tumbles can turn into a serpent who trolls the garden of your delights. But I was your favorite, she said as she toppled from the sky. Oh, how she fell for envying Adam, that monster made in God's image, the apple of his fickle little eye. So this is one about the emotional life of angels. On the emotional life of angels. You quoted a learned man when you said baptism was the metaphysical button, the big beep that alerts one's guardian angel to start guarding. Do we each have our own? Or do we share guardians like toddlers at daycare? I suspect officials keep us tethered to nowhere and birthlands. My guard is notoriously hard to understand. He mutters like Balkans crossing the borders of language. Crossing in me has no stable shore. The angels born in Eastern Europe must be many-tongued polylinguists. They wear diacritic stains on their foreheads. Maybe I am one. Maybe I am two. Maybe I am a sausage. Maybe I am a stew. Maybe I'm an unreliable narrator for Western tourists who like a clean narrative arc. You quoted the big beep. I told you, I can't speak when my guard jiggles the key and his eye fills the cell with avertinal glee, the terminal joy of having a front seat to divine radiance. Local left behindlings are stocking guns and 3D printers for the apocalyptic festivities. They told our son that the devil who destroys everything will be Romanian. I am guarding my angel for him. I don't know if you guys know the Left Behind books. It's a whole series of books that actually credit to James Dobson because he did a great job bringing those out there. But I learned that the guy that brings the Antichrist is Romanian, and he was the head of the UN. I learned from those books. I was informed, and that was shocking to me. I was like, of all things, Romania is such a unremarkable country normally in the West. You don't hear of it at all, but it gets chosen to be the end of the worlder, which I thought was kind of wild. I don't know whether that's a compliment or an insult. So I'm going to read one that is a Birmingham poem, very much about walking through Birmingham, which is where I live and where the kids are and where our lives are. It's called Ode to Something Elusive. Not Ozymandias or love this morning. I could walk to the edge of craving and never quit looking. I followed piety along the tracks, smoked a butt, measured the city's contingents, slid 2 honeysuckles between my lips in lieu of mints. The coal train chuggled past in gold and black, its slowness militant as the lie a man offers his mistress, harbinger of diamond to come. I came closest. The sky suckled its cold heat. I did not know where I was, what time wanted, an epic, tagged in red beneath the bridge. Dante was. The graffiti and the tagging in Birmingham is incredible. It's like a whole, you can just wander through entire stories, entire counter narratives, entire spaces that have been, reclaimed, renamed, remade, conversations. It's I don't know, it's I wish they're text to me, and I love them. I love walking around, and they've inspired a lot of poems, actually. I'm going to read 2 more. One is, I'm going to read this one, which I have not read. And then I'm going to read a really short one that I'm marking now so that I know where it is. Okay, this is Portrait of Couple at 15th Anniversary. On our 15th anniversary, with the assistance of fireflies, I cut your hair in an abandoned cemetery. The surround sound of dusk-lit red dirt is our family tradition. We invented each other from fragments of flotsam and landfills. For each trim, the kids choose which grave to honor, which names to detain as sound. Our hair is loud and lives all over the land. I maintain the map of our offerings in the glove box, a malediction, protective talisman against the elegant viciousness of American dreams and Southern idioms. When they blessed our little old hearts, they damned them to hell. There is this curse of Southern gospel between the ochre sunset and the guns under their windshields. Yours is the face of the lover for whom I live in prison. I am the umpire of weeping for insects scattered by midnight and the amp of quiet kids hiding in corners with their invisible friends. Daylight is the frenzied tumbler who approaches the emptiness of each emotion untended, each lollipop unwrapped. Thunder is the instant before lightning strikes the sky's bass note. All swallows know this. The stars are the taste of love. The vow is the unbidden anklet of algae. I want to meet the big alto whose moon is our Oreo pie. I want him to watch the metonymy, the missing, the thing about the street lamps in history, the heresy the stars are when you touch me. Okay, and this is after a really great Polish poet translated by Alicia Wallace, who's Ryszard Krynicki. He wrote a series of posthumous journeys. So there's a tradition of writing your own elegy, of doing a self-elegy in poetry. And this tradition, or it's not a tradition, he kind of just wrote these posthumous elegies. So he would go, the posthumous journeys, I'm sorry, I said elegy, but journeys. So these are like, you walk around, here's what I'm going to do after I'm dead. Here's what my journeys will be. And I really loved it. It sort of inspired me to think about, I don't know, eternity and time differently. So this is posthumous journey number 4. On the day my thigh stitch purples, I discover a rusted pitchfork in a new tale. The auspiciousness is an infection, a failure to dissolve without fever. And I remember the times people knew of my surgeries. I remember the humiliating publicity of almost dying and then being tired of comforting others who almost lost me for their near losings. It was like being in Krakow in the early 2000s again and miscarrying a thing alone. I could barely tell a soul, I am alive. It hurts so much. It is extraordinary. Thank you. And please support the Rafat Al-Ayyir Library. I mean, that is so important. Poetry was what he did. That is a tribute to a poet. He believed that poetry mattered, that it was the most important thing that we can do is to say what's not being said. And he risked a tremendous amount to say it. And it's an honor to think of him and to know that his spirit is somehow present. So thank you guys.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for a lovely, lovely, lovely evening of poetry. I did tell my son to swim. And he said, I want you to do a poem for me. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it because you're not here. You're swimming. But it made me wonder if I remembered this poem. So my son, the weird thing about my, being a poet, you always worry about your kids being like embarrassed of you. Well, maybe it's just me. Because my mom's a poet. And, well, no, she embarrassed me sometimes. Okay. It's a thing. But my son would sign me up for um, for you know job night, or the people come in and talk about their jobs, career day. He would sign me up for career day, and he would tell me, he would write me a set list, and all the poems were about him. And I was like, you are legit using your mom to pick up girls. And I mean, I applaud, but I don't even know how to feel because I didn't think of that when I was a kid and have my mom come to school and do poems so I could pick up whoever. Um, but I'm gonna see if I can do this poem for him and then shut us out. All right. Um, I did a TED talk to this poem, so if I fuck it up, y'all go watch the TED talk. Okay. Like this is his favorite poem about him. And he was trying to explain to me how he felt about somebody. Okay. When my girl touches me, the way my girl touches me, I like it. I tell her, baby, I like that. And I'd like more, please. What's that? Her smile and a question. So I untangle myself from herself and I explain to her as it was explained to me by my teenage son, which means this is a fact. That's what he wanted me to say. There are two kinds of like. There is like, and there is like. Like is, I like you. Like is, yeah, I like you. My son is explaining the phenomenon of like to me because he likes this girl at school. He tells me how pretty she is, how they sat together at lunch and had a conversation. She is so smart, mom. She is so nice. I like her. My heart swells and crashes, partly because he is more like me than I imagined, mostly because he is more like me than he knows, because I, too, am a sucker for a pretty smart, nice girl who eats food and has conversations. But I also sweep up the shards of my heart every time a girl breaks it. My son will have his heart broken a lot. He is just like his mother. And I want to warn him. I want to explain what the hopeless and hopeless romantic really means, but I really don't believe it. I mean, I refuse to believe that romance, in love, or like is hopeless. And I love the way his face breaks open when he talks about sharing ideas with this girl that he likes. I mean, he wants to make her art. And I don't care that he uses all of my supplies. He wants to give her art, and he plus art is his heart, and she will break it. And when it happens, we will cuddle on the couch, commiserate, eat comfort food. I will have ice cream. He will eat those Cheetos that bear no resemblance to any color on a wheel, but we will hold each other up the way he held me up when heartbreak just looked like, why is my mom so sad? And when he comes home from school, tells me that this girl refused his gift, he will call himself stupid. He will call his hard work, his art, his consideration junk. He will ask me if there was some way he could have known that she didn't like him the way he liked her. So I will ask if I can have his heart, his art. Remind him that I like him the way he is just fine, but I wonder, will this jade him? And before I get too lost in that thought, he tells me about the girl who sits next to him in science. She is so smart, mom. I like her. Not just like, and I think, oh my boy, you're going to like her soon. You are so full of hope. So after my story, my girl, she tells me that she likes me. I know she's going to break my heart, but I am so full of hope. I am just like my son. So I just smile back at her. I tell her, baby, I like you too. And I'd like more, please. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. And I do have a memory. He claimed I couldn't remember nothing. I remembered it. All right. Thank you all so much. Y'all go buy this book. It's at the front. You have a captive author who will sign them. So go get your copy of My Heresies. And I will see you all back here next month. Hopefully Karen G will be back. She is in Ohio taking care of sick puppies. And I am glad it's not me. But y'all have a great night. Be safe, stay dry, stay hydrated, and find joy where you find it. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Have a great night. Thank you. Thank you, people.